Fiat, Chrysler, and French carmaker Renault are pursuing a $35 billion merger. Now, a deal that, if completed, would create the third largest automaker, at least when you count production. Shares of Fiat and Renault are trading higher, both sectors right now, or both companies right now. Joining us now is RebeccaDrives.com founder Rebecca Lindland. Always good to see you, Rebecca. What should we make of this? Could these two really tie the knot?
Well, they could, Adam. And of course, thank you for having me on. I think that this is a really interesting opportunity for two companies that have a lot in common, but don't have a lot of overlap to really capitalize on economies of scale, on an opportunity to cut costs, and to really improve their balance sheets across the board.
And talk to me, you say they have a lot of similarities. What about the sort of cultures of the two companies, right? Because under the prior leadership over at Renault, there was sort of a lot of different cultures already being brought together, right? Both internationally and also just the way different components were run. So how does this then work when you bolt on Fiat-Chrysler to it potentially?
So one of the things they have in common is the customer. They serve the same customer really on a global basis. These are people that are interested in durable, reliable, value-oriented products for the most part. They look at transportation as something that is more of a practical need rather than an emotional feel. I'm not talking about Alfa Romeo or really even Jeep or Maserati. I'm talking about that Renault, Lada, the Chrysler, the Dodge, the Fiat buyers. So those are the people that they can sit in a room and all be focused on the same person. This is one of the biggest issues that Daimler Chrysler faced. They weren't serving the same person and they weren't serving the same type of consumer and mindset. This merger would serve that same person.
Rebecca, you're talking to somebody who remembers the old AMC Concorde. I had a teacher who drove one of those. And the reason I bring that up is that Jeep was part of AMC and that was owned partially by Renault. So Jeep could wind up back with Renault. But the reason I point this out, if I am invested in Fiat Chrysler, what do I gain by this merger?
You really gain a better balance sheet. You gain economies of scale. You gain an opportunity to combine incredible costs the industry is facing when it looks at electric vehicle development, at autonomous vehicles, as mobility as a service. All of those incredibly expensive investments that the industry is forcing into making because of changes in the economy, changes in demographics, changes in technology. So we're making those changes. We're pulling those kinds of investments in. And if you can do that together, then that benefits everybody, particularly your balance sheet.
But and the potential to hurt Ford and GM. I mean, if this goes through, then Ford becomes, I read, a big player in Europe. Is that accurate?
Well, Ford is already struggling in Europe, and of course, GM is completely out of Europe with their sale of Opel Vauxhall. So this definitely changes the automotive landscape. I mean, you can't have this type of merger and not have some kind of ripple effect throughout the industry where almost everybody is touched. You know, the other place where both of these companies struggle a bit is China, but Toyota and Honda are struggling in China as well. So again, this opportunity to combine forces, they don't overlap a lot when it comes to other markets and it comes to products. Of course, Renault's not even in the US, FCA's largest market. So we have opportunities for expansion into new markets, for dealers to get a better deal. Fiat and Alfa Romeo continue to struggle a bit in the U.S. Maybe this helps them as well. So there's a lot of upside to this deal, and I think we're seeing that in the stock price.
Well, one of the red flags people should consider, though, is le car. And for people old enough to remember that, that is a red flag. Rebecca, it's always good to see you. Rebecca Lindland from RebeccaDrives.com. Thank you.